Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're hopefully watching me from. For those who don't know me, my name is Yewande Faloyan. I am a former McKinsey consultant and a Morgan Stanley VP, turned founder and CEO of OT and I am an executive leadership coach. Um, One of the things that often comes up, especially when either coaching executive leaders, people who are aspiring executives and leaders, is how do we connect with senior leaders more effectively? And a phrase or a couple of sentences that I've been hearing a lot lately, and probably not surprising, is it's really hard to connect with senior leaders virtually. It's just not the same as being face to face, right? And again, probably not surprising given the year that we've had. I know that we're coming out of, hopefully, out of lockdown and COVID. Um, but it's something that still kind of comes up a little bit as we work in a hybrid situation, as maybe we've learned to work more with senior leaders who are not in our location, given sort of the virtual world that we've been in. And that's really what I want to talk about today, right? How can you connect better and gain more visibility with senior leaders, whether you're working from home or have any other sort of similar, maybe barriers in quotes that you feel are coming up in front of you, right? So I ask you first, have those words crossed your lips or your mind recently, right? Again, given the year and a half that we've had, it's probably not surprising if it is. Whether your goal is to fast track your promotion or progression into a more senior leadership position or to create a greater impact in your business, working with senior leaders is critical, right? It's absolutely critical to achieving your desired outcome. At the best of times, it can be challenging to know the best strategy to do this, right? So even when we move outside of like the virtual world and we're kind of face to face, that's something that's often come up, right? How do I really connect with people who are more senior? How do I gain more visibility with them, right? Throwing out the fact that for some of us at the moment, you can't just kind of knock on their door for a quick chat. You can't just eavesdrop on a conversation, maybe when they sort of pass by the department. Or you may feel like kind of the barrier between you and senior leaders is getting thicker and thicker as, again, maybe we've been in a more remote situation. And now as we go back into the office, it's like, how do I reconnect? Right. So it makes sense that you may be feeling a little bit stuck, a little bit unsure about your strategy to get you to that desired outcome. But here's the thing, this phrase is not that dissimilar to ones that I've heard in the past pre 2020, right? It may have sounded something like this. So instead of it's hard to connect with senior leaders while I'm working from home or remotely, it may have been something like it's hard to connect with senior leaders when you're an introvert like me, right? Or it's hard to connect with senior leaders who I don't know and who don't know who I am. They're just so busy. Or it could be something like, I've heard this a lot. It's hard to connect with senior leaders because I'm just in a completely different department from them. The common denominator here, right, is not necessarily the, again, I put it in quotes, excuse, but it's that first bit, right? The assumption that it's hard to connect with senior leaders. And again, that's totally understandable. And it's a very common, and whenever I use the word common, you can kind of interject that with limiting, but it's a common slash limiting belief or excuse. I know so many introverted professionals that have been able to effortlessly create impact and fast track their promotion, right? Fast track their professional careers through stronger connections with senior leaders. And that's both pre-COVID and during COVID. And I'll give you a really quick example. So Jan is one of these professionals, and we worked together for a little bit. And the shift to remote working was really, really challenging for him because he'd spent over a decade perfecting his in-person approach to engaging with senior leaders, right, and senior colleagues. So sort of, knocking on the door, checking in on them, staying, close to the ear in terms of, or keeping his ear to the ground in terms of what they were saying. And suddenly that was all gone. And frustratingly, this was also a really critical step up year where he was up for promotion. Given this initial challenge, what was kind of the secret that helped him succeed and move forward even in 2020? The key thing was that Jan reframed his approach around two new beliefs, right? So instead of believing it's hard to connect with senior leaders, he then thought two things. One, His ability to connect with senior leaders has less to do with external factors like Zoom or time or busyness or the result of personality tests, right? Introvert versus extrovert, right? He reframed his thinking like around that. And then secondly, your ability to connect with senior leaders has everything to do with you, your purpose for the interaction and your energy that's driving that interaction. Okay. So let's take a pause and kind of step back a little bit. If you believe that it's hard to connect with senior leaders when working remotely, right? What do you think is going to happen? It's probably going to be hard to connect with senior leaders when you're working remotely, right? The phrase is whether you believe it or you don't, you're right. And it will be hard because you will approach them with a sense of hesitation, of resistance, right? Because no one likes doing hard things. What if instead you, like Jan, reframed your mindset and your energy to believe that remote working, right, has great advantages when it comes to connecting with senior people, particularly on an international team, right? Because now instead of kind of that excuse of I have to be in the same space, now you've kind of got similar access to everyone anywhere in the world, right? Maybe if before there were barriers around aligning diaries because they're kind of all over the place, now you're sort of in a similar place in the sense that everyone's a little bit more settled and less kind of running around all over the place. So there might be more opportunities to actually engage with them. Because here's the thing, right? We all have preferences. You have preferences, Jan has preferences, senior leaders have preferences, depending on if you're introverted, extroverted, where you're located, who you're speaking to, what your energy is like. However, senior leaders care less about kind of those minute preferences. What is it that they do care about? Impact, success, results. So if you start to reframe your mindsets away from kind of the lower energies of, well, what should I be doing given the fact that I don't have that access, given the fact that I'm not in the same place, given the fact that I'm introverted, and instead reframe your mindset and energy to create space to focus more on impact focused strategies, right? That align better with what your senior leaders actually want to achieve, then that's really exciting for connection. That's exciting for visibility. And that's the type of visibility that you want, that they want, and it's a win win for everyone. All right. The main takeaway: connecting with senior leaders can seem and can appear to be challenging. However, that challenge only exists when you continuously tell yourself that it's challenging. Turn the challenges that other people see into opportunities for yourself by upskilling your energy and creating more of an impact focused strategy that will get senior leaders excited about connecting with you. So if you're an ambitious professional who wants to fast track into a more senior leadership position by mastering how you can get senior leaders to want to connect with you and to increase that visibility, shoot me a DM and I'd be more than happy to share more. All right. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay energized, stay focused, and I look forward to hearing or seeing you on the show next week. All right. Bye.